Rolex didn't just become the world's most powerful watch brand, it engineered its dominance. From surviving world wars to hacking human psychology, from strapping watches onto deep-sea submarines to sitting on the wrists of presidents, this isn't a story about time. It's about control, status, and strategy. And the craziest part? Almost everything you believe about Rolex is carefully designed. If you think Rolex is just a luxury watch, you've already fallen into the trap. Like, share, and subscribe, because this story only gets wilder. At just 24, Hans Wilsdorf stepped into an industry he technically didn't belong to, and broke its rules instantly. He didn't own factories, didn't forge movements, didn't follow tradition. Instead, he outsourced everything, which in early 1900s Switzerland was almost heresy. But Wilsdorf saw something others didn't. Watches weren't just mechanical tools, they were emotional objects. While competitors obsessed over engineering, he focused on perception. He crafted the name Rolex to sound sharp, luxurious, and universal. Easy to pronounce, impossible to ignore. This wasn't a company being built, it was a symbol being engineered. Long before modern branding existed, Wilsdorf understood one truth. If people trust your name, they'll never question your product. In the early 20th century, wristwatches were dismissed as delicate accessories, something women wore, not men of status. Hans Wilsdorf saw an opportunity hidden inside that stigma. Instead of debating opinions, he attacked credibility. He pushed Rolex watches through rigorous testing and secured official chronometer certifications, proving they weren't just stylish, they were precise instruments. This single move shattered the stereotype overnight. Suddenly, a Rolex wasn't a fashion piece, it was a statement of modernity, confidence, and control. Men who once carried pocket watches began strapping ambition onto their wrists. This wasn't just innovation, it was a psychological flip. Rolex didn't follow culture, it rewrote it, turning doubt into desire and weakness into power. In 1927, Rolex executed a move so bold it redefined marketing forever. They partnered with Mercedes Gleitze, who attempted to swim the brutal English Channel wearing a Rolex Oyster. Freezing water, relentless waves, conditions designed to destroy precision instruments. The watch survived. But the real masterstroke came after. Rolex bought the front page of a major newspaper and turned the event into a global headline. This wasn't promotion. It was proof turned into spectacle. Instead of claiming durability, they demonstrated it under pressure. That single story didn't just sell watches, it built belief. Rolex didn't advertise features. They created moments the world couldn't ignore. Rolex didn't rely on hype alone. They engineered credibility into every claim. The Oyster case sealed the watch from water, dust, and pressure, turning fragility into resilience. Then came the perpetual rotor, a self-winding mechanism powered simply by the movement of the wearer's wrist. No batteries, no manual winding, just motion becoming energy. Together, these innovations formed the foundation of the modern wristwatch. But here's the deeper game. Rolex rarely needed to invent first. They mastered, refined, and elevated ideas into icons. Their genius wasn't raw invention, it was transformation. They took complex engineering and made it feel effortless, luxurious, and inevitable, like the watch was always meant to work this way. While entire luxury industries collapsed under pressure, Rolex kept moving like a machine that couldn't be stopped. Through World War I, World War II, and devastating economic downturns, Rolex refused to behave like a trend-driven brand. Instead, it positioned itself as timeless, immune to chaos. One of its boldest moves came during WFON, when Rolex allowed prisoners of war to receive watches without upfront payment, trusting them to pay later. That wasn't generosity, it was strategic loyalty building at scale. When those men returned home, they didn't just remember Rolex, they represented it. Rolex didn't just survive crises, they converted uncertainty into trust, turning hardship into long-term brand power. Rolex didn't rely on traditional endorsements. It embedded itself into human history. Instead of actors or models, it partnered with real explorers, pushing the limits of possibility. When Sir Edmund Hillary reached the summit of Mount Everest, Rolex became part of that legendary moment. The same strategy extended to deep-sea missions and aviation breakthroughs. The message was subtle but powerful. If Rolex can survive the most extreme conditions on Earth, it can handle your everyday life effortlessly. This wasn't marketing. It was borrowed credibility at the highest level. Every achievement became a silent endorsement, building something competitors couldn't fake. Authentic authority earned through real-world extremes. This is where Rolex stops being a brand and becomes a psychological system. Walk into an authorized dealer, and you won't see abundance. You'll see absence, empty displays, waiting lists. Not available. But this isn't a supply problem, it's controlled scarcity. Rolex limits availability to create tension between desire and access, and that tension changes behavior. People don't casually buy Rolex, they pursue it. The longer the wait, the stronger the attachment. It transforms a purchase into a victory. Rolex doesn't just sell watches, they sell permission to belong. And when access feels restricted, ownership feels earned. That's the illusion. Scarcity isn't limiting demand, it's fueling obsession. Rolex doesn't react to the market, it quietly controls its direction. Year after year, Rolex increases prices, even when global economies slow down. On the surface, it seems risky. In reality, it's strategic positioning. Higher prices don't push customers away, they signal elevated status. But the real twist lies in the resale market, where many Rolex models appreciate over time. That flips the entire buying psychology. Suddenly, you're not spending, you're allocating capital. A Rolex becomes both a luxury item and a financial asset. This dual identity is powerful. It removes guilt from the purchase and replaces it with logic. Rolex didn't just justify its price, it turned ownership into a calculated, status-driven investment move. Rolex doesn't chase attention, it attracts it. You won't see loud sponsorships or desperate celebrity campaigns. Instead, figures like Winston Churchill, Paul Newman, and Roger Federer have all been associated with Rolex, often without needing scripted endorsements. That's the real signal of power. When influential people choose your brand without being paid, it creates authenticity money can't buy. Rolex built a silent network where ownership itself communicates status. No oversized logos, no explanation, just recognition among those who understand. It becomes a coded language of success. If you know, you know. And if you don't, you're not the target audience. After more than a century, Rolex reveals its real game, and it has nothing to do with timekeeping. Rolex engineered a system that controls perception, scarcity, trust, and aspiration with surgical precision. Every detail, limited supply, rising prices, iconic storytelling, is intentional. When someone buys a Rolex, they're not purchasing a tool to measure time, they're buying evidence of achievement. It's a symbol that signals discipline, success, and arrival without saying a word. That's why even in the age of smartwatches and digital dominance, Rolex remains untouchable. Technology evolves, features get replaced, but identity doesn't. Rolex doesn't compete in the watch industry. It operates above it.